As we continue on in our lesson on creating and managing AD groups and OUs, we've been focusing pretty much on groups. It's time to shift gears, and we're going to look at understanding and working with OUs. I've already mentioned the idea of we have containers versus OUs, and that I find OUs much more powerful because we can do much more with them. Specifically, we can apply group policies to OUs. But now we need to understand, why would I create OUs? How would I create OUs? And we create OUs based on business units, which means departments or product lines. We can create OUs based on geographical location. Maybe we're an international organization and we have offices in different countries. We could create an OU per country, or even all the way out to continent. Or we could use a hybrid strategy where we use a combination of the business and geography. Maybe we have offices in the United States as well as Europe, and within Europe we have offices in different countries, and within different countries we have offices within cities, and even within cities we have offices in specific locations. We can nest OUs. I could create one called the United States, and within the United States I could create another OU for the East region, the West region for another one, and maybe the Midwest region for another one. The beautiful thing about OUs is they're not locked down. We can create and move objects in and out of OUs, and we can create and link GPOs, group policy objects, to OUs. And that's the beauty and power of OUs over the default containers. Let's step out to our Active Directory services and take a look at how we work with OUs within AD. Here we are in the Server Manager. We're heading back to our favorite option called Tools, and one of our favorite tools called Active Directory Users and Computers, at least at this point in the game. And we're going to go back to the Pearson.com just so we're at the top here. And notice we have these 6 folders here, but Domain Controllers has a unique little object or icon on it because that's an OU. So what I want to do is I want to create a new OU. So I'm going to go to the AZMTP. I'm going to right click and go to New. And we have Organizational Unit. I'm going to call this AZMTP Users. And notice we have the option to protect container from accidental deletion. I could deselect that. I'm going to leave that turned on to show you how you can delete an OU should you leave that on. I'll go ahead and click OK. And notice we have another organizational unit. And notice it has this fancy little icon on it. Now, before I forget, let's talk about how we delete this. If I right click on this right now and I say delete, it's going to say, are you sure you want to do this? I'm going to say yes. Like, dude, slow down. You don't have permissions to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how we get permissions to do so. I'm going to click OK. We go up under View, and we have an option here called Advanced Features. Now, I don't normally turn it on because it kind of clutters up what I'm working with here, and you're going to see that right now. Notice everything else that I added here for additional containers that I really don't work with. But for this demo, I'm going to leave it on for a second. Now I'm going to go back to the AZMTP users. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to Properties for this. I'm going to go to Object, and you're going to see we have the checkbox here, Protect Object from Accidental Deletion. Now I can deselect that. I'll go ahead and do an OK. Now I can right click and do a delete. Are you sure you want to do this? I'll say yes, and AZMTP is toast. So now I get to do it again. Easily enough. New, Organizational Unit, AZMTP Users, and I'll go ahead and leave that on as an OK. And now we have our organizational unit back. So that's how I create a brand new OU. That's how I protect that OU from being deleted. And that's how I unprotect that OU so it can be deleted. So now we have our AZMTP users in here. Now let's click into this OU and go ahead to the new option. And notice I can create a computer, contact, group, the iNet org person. We've got OUs, printers, users, shared folders. So whatever I want to put in here and whatever I want to control with a GPO, I can do so. I called it AZMTP users, so we're going to create a new user. And we're going to go ahead and call this one Vicky. And we'll go Blondin. And the logon name is going to be Vicky. And I'll go ahead and do a next. Set up a password. And then I'm going to make her change the password at next logon. So I'll go ahead and do a next, and I'll do a finish. And now we've added a user to this OU. We're going to talk more about the power of the GPOs with this OU, but this is how I can go ahead and create a new OU and add a user to it. In fact, let's jump over to our users container. And in here we have Don. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to move. And we're going to see now we have our AZMTP users. I'll do an OK there. And now as you can see, I've moved Don over here as well. And just to show you, we can create a new sub OU in here as well. Let's do that. And I'll call this one Scottsdale, a city within AZ. And I'll do an OK. And now notice we have a sub OU inside of our AZMTP users OU. So these are the steps to create an OU, protect that OU or unprotect that OU from deletion, create a sub OU, add a new user to that OU, and move a user to that OU. And all easily done through Active Directory users and computers. In addition to creating and working with OUs in the GUI as we just did, we have several PowerShell commandlets that we can use. And the first one allows us to create a brand new OU, and that's using the new-AD organizational unit. And as you can see, we can also set and retrieve properties of an OU using the set-AD organizational unit and the get-AD organizational unit. And if I want to toast an OU, we have the remove-AD organizational unit. And if I want to move objects between containers, I can use a PowerShell command called move-AD object. And I'll use this quite often to move objects from one container to another, or even from one domain to another. Because this is not specific to OUs, we can use this for moving objects throughout AD. Now, one of the things that we want to be able to do as administrators is not to have to do everything. I already introduced a couple security groups where we can assign individuals into those groups and they can perform some of those tasks without giving them full-blown administrative permissions. And there may be points where we have specific permissions where there's not a group already available for managing specific tasks. We can use the Delegation of Control wizard in ADUC. And when you're working with this wizard, it's going to ask you if you want to delegate a task to a specific user or a group. My recommendation is to create a group, even if it's for one person, and move that one person in that group. Because then if that person leaves the company, you want to move another user in, you've already assigned that task to that new user. Or maybe I want two users to be able to perform that task. It's done so through the group. In addition to assigning management tasks, which may include several subtasks, we can also create custom tasks for specialized permissions. And the Delegation of Control wizard is one way for us to assign administrative tasks for users. Another way is simply go to the object and use the security tab on that object to manually assign permissions for that object. Let's step out and explore how we can delegate control in Active Directory using both of these methods. As you can see, we're back in the ADUC. We are going to go into, we'll say our AZMTP users that we've been working with. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to delegate control. Kicks off this nice easy wizard. Going to click next. We're going to add a group. Remember, we want to use groups. We have that GG group that we created. I can't remember exactly what it was, so we'll use the check names. There it is, GG_all_admins. We'll go ahead and do an OK. We'll then click next again. And then notice I can specify some of the common tasks. For instance, delegate the ability to create, delete, and manage user accounts. Delegate, create, delete, and manage groups. So we can use common administrative tasks here, or we can get a little bit more granular and create a custom task to delegate. We'll go ahead and click next on that. And we can specify this folder, existing objects in this folder, and creation of new objects, or only the following objects in this folder. So I want to work with specifically computer objects in this organizational unit, so I can specify that there. And then I can click the create and delete selected objects options in this folder as well. And you'll see the general option is selected. We can go property specific. We can go creation and deletion of specific child objects. I'm going to give them full control of all the computer objects in this organizational unit. I'll click next. Gives me a nice summary. I'll click finish. And now we've delegated administrative tasks specifically for computer objects. The other way to do this is to use the security tab. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on the AZMTP user. Go to properties. We have security up here. And notice if I scroll down, here's my GG all admins here. But if I wanted to add someone else, I don't really have another group. So I'll use Vicky. I'll check the name. I'll go ahead and do an OK. And then I can give her full control. And then do an OK. And now Vicky has full control to this AZMTP user organizational unit. So these are the two methods available for delegating administrative control via ADUC.